There are children of kings and queens. It's up to us to save them. And it's worse than building things. But you know it's time to stand like a people. You know it's time to stand like a people today. It's time to stand like a people. Stand up and say, no more wondering, we are finally on our way. Our mothers and fathers and elders, they have given us all they can. They stood up and fought to protect us in this hard and bitter land. Their trials must give us courage, every woman and man. None are free unless all are. We pledge our lives to take back our land. You know it's time to stand like a people. You know it's time to stand like a people today. It's time to stand like a people. Stand up and say, no more wondering, we are finally on our way. All they can. They stood up and fought to protect us in this hard and bitter land. Their trials must give us courage, every woman and man. None are free unless all are. We pledge our lives to take back our land. You know it's time to stand like a people. You know it's time to stand like a people today. It's time to stand like a people. Stand up and say, no more wondering, we are finally on our way.
Hashiu. Uncle Johnson. Morning, welcome, one and all, to the Sunday morning celebration worship service of the Wosay community. Ashe. We are gathered and called together to come together as a community to be celebratory in our worship and praise. Ashe. I hope I'm not just speaking to myself this morning, but I want to encourage even those who are not physically present to be spiritually present as we share in that which has been a blessing to all of us.
Yes.
So this morning, we first have to take care of a bit of housekeeping. We need to let everyone know, please, until you're called on the program, please be on mute. We want to make sure that those who do join us in service and praise today, identify yourselves with a name. Otherwise, move to the side and let someone talk to you and find out who you is. Ashe. And so this morning, we of the African way, I want to share just a brief opening message taken from the Hosea, page 16. I give praise to Amun-Ra, Lord of the thrones of Egypt, who presides over Thebes. I kiss the ground before Amun-Ra of Thebes, the great God, the Lord of the sanctuary, great and beautiful, that he may let my eyes see his beauty. Praise be to Amun-Ra. I make hymns in his name.
Yes.
I give him praise to the heights of heaven, and to the ends of the earth.
Yes.
I tell of his majesty and might to those who sail downstream and those who sail upstream.
Yes.
Stand in awe of him.
Yes, yes.
Declare him to your son and daughter, to the great and the small. Declare him to generation after generation who are not yet born.
Yes.
Declare him to the fish in the deep and to the birds in the sky.
Yes.
Declare him to the ignorant and to the wise. Stand in awe of him. And if you're not excited, if you're not moved by these words,
Yeah.
still stand in awe of who we worship as our ancestors worshiped many generations ago.
Yes, yeah.
Ashe,
Ashe.
And so, as we do with our tradition, we must first invite those who have preceded us into transition, our ancestors. So this morning, let us join together in libation as we're led by M.I.T, my brother, Sydney.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Good morning, my Will Say family. It's good to be here, as they say, in the house of the Lord. Ashe.
Ashe.
And following along the traditions, as M.I.T, my brother Mally was saying, that we pour libation and call on those who have preceded us. There was a quote in 2000 season said, Untitled Chapter says that there's nothing beautiful but in relationships.
Yes.
And also that looking back in ancient times, Queen Hatshepsut had said that beauty was part of M.I.T. Ashe. And as Minister Mally had just read, we talk about beauty. And so during this season, many families had an opportunity to get together and break bread. Ashe. And as you sat around the table or as you called and spoke to some of your friends and family, we realized that those numbers are dwindling. Many of our families, many of those who set the traditions in place have passed on. And so as we pour libation this morning, I want you to think about those who have passed on. Think about those, not just great iconic figures, but those within your own family who have passed on, and you call them to come and be with them. You call them to come and join you. Ashe. We want to begin by pouring libation for the first mother, the first father, the first child. We pour libation and we say, Ashe. Come and be with us.
Yes,
We want to pour libation and call on the first teachers, the first philosophers, the first healers that put us all together, that kept everyone and watched out for our family. We pour libation. We say, come and be with us today. I say, we want to pour libation for those great-great-grandmothers, those great-great-grandfathers that took us out into the forest, took us out among the plantation and the plants, and pulled out those which were good and those which were not so good for us to take in. I say, we say, come and be with us today. I say, we want to pour libation. Remember those who lost their lives in the transatlantic and the trans-Saharan slave trade. Those names that go without numbers, those numberless names that have lost their lives crossing the Sahara and in the Atlantic Ocean, in the ocean and the seas that have just lost their lives. We call on them to come join us today. Lift your bodies up, lift your spirits up. Come and join and be with us. We say, Ashe. I want to pour libation for some of those that continued what I say that we all had, which is the DNA for resistance, the DNA against oppression, the DNA to make things right, the basis of M.I.T, truth, justice, balance. We want to pour libation for Queen Harriet Tubman. Come and be with us today. We want to pour libation for Denmark Vesey. Come and be with us today. I say. We want to pour libation for Mary McLeod Bethune. I say, pour libation for Booker T. Washington. I say, pour libation for Malcolm X. Pour libation for Betty Shabazz. Pour libation for Dr. King. Pour libation for all those who passed on before us, but now we want to pour libation for those within your own family. We want to pour libation from those within your community. Pour libation for Mother Clay. Pour libation for Deacon Dally. Pour libation for those who passed before. I want to call out my mother, Mildred Coulter. Come and be with me today. I say, call them out. Call them out.
My mother, Ruth Payton.
Ruth, pour libation. I say, pour libation. Call them out.
My beloved parents, Harry and Bernice Choice.
My grandparents, Sergeant James Willis, Rose Kennedy.
Ashe.
Catherine Caldwell.
We can't hear minister. We can't hear the minister. Point of libation.
I was sitting here on mute.
Brother Bill, can you unmute Sydney? He's on Ty Payton's.
Yeah, I can't force it open, but I can call it.
I see.
Sydney, I just unmuted you. We've been muted the whole time. So we'll do it again.
Yeah, we got some of it. We didn't get it all, but we got some of it.
Yeah, we was hearing them, we just didn't hear us. Uncle Johnson there, even though maybe the communication wasn't that clear, the spirit was. This is where we have honored and invited our ancestors to join in our celebration, to be a part of this Sunday morning. Ashe, do you hear me now? Can we get witness to now we communicating?
Yes, indeed.
Is that a shaking of the head? Is that a smile on the face? I want to make sure now. There we go. Thank y'all very much. The spirit is here. We are here, and now our ancestors are here.
Yes.
So now that we have done the preparation, it is time now to join as a community in what we call circle prayer. Can Mama Connie please take us to this place?
Ashe, community, our sacred African way. We're here, we'll say Oakland and we'll say Sacramento. We're all here together holding hands. Let's just imagine we're all together. We're here today and we come with hearts of gratefulness. I don't know about you, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything in my life, everything that has shaped me, all my family, all of everything in my life, even the things that have taught me, the things that have been hard. But we come together today with our hearts open. So let us be mindful of everything that's going on in the world today. Everybody's got stuff going on. Each and every one of us as individuals, we as communities, we have things going on that we need to continue to work for, to repair, to do better. And as one of my things I always say, ancestors did so much more with so much less. So we come with hearts full of love and gratefulness today. And we're thankful to be here. And at this time, I'm going to open up the circle. Anybody else bring and lift your voice today, please. Come join in the prayer. Tell us what's going on with you. Just briefly, but lovingly, let's come today. Please lift your voice. Don't be shy, lift your voice today.
Thank you, Father, Mother God, for giving me this day. Thank you for keeping me in my right mind, though there are many trials and tribulations. Thank you for my Wosei family. Thank you for my biological family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for giving us days to commune and celebrate with our family. But I also thank you for giving myself and my son the opportunity to mourn with my Native American brothers and sisters on the morning of Thanksgiving. We attended the sunrise ceremony 5 a.m. in the morning, and we just loved on our Native American brothers and sisters, and held their hand and prayed with them, communed with them. So thank you, Father, Mother God, for that opportunity. It really does take a village in more ways than one. Thank you for this house that you've given me. Unfortunately, my stove caught on fire on the morning of Thanksgiving, but we're here. We still had a delicious, wonderful dinner. Thank you that it was contained in the stove and nothing else happened. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just thank you for the breath of life. And Father, Mother God, I want you to fall fresh on the family of Malcolm X. His daughter has transitioned, and I could only imagine what the family is going through at this moment. So say that we lift that family up, and we lift up our brothers and sisters throughout this world with all of the trials and tribulations that they're going through. In your name, Ashe.
Ashe. Is there another? Please lift your voice. Please come now.
I give thanks for another day while trotting along the way. So happy and gay along the shores of the East Bay where the sun begins the day. Oh, Holy One, divine ancestors, I thank you for life. I thank you for all the blessings of my life. I thank you for the good times and the bad times, as they have all provided growth and insight for me. I thank you for my family, for their health, for their strength, for their perseverance. I thank you for the Wosei community family, those spiritual brothers and sisters that have found their way here as peace and blessings, life, health, and prosperity to each and every one. Bless the unhoused, bless the sick and the mentally ill. Be with them, O Holy One. Provide grace and a way forward. This is my prayer. Ashe.
Ashe.
Beautiful, beautiful prayer. Is there another, please? There's no prayer too small, no prayer too big.
Most High Mother, Father God, we come to you today, giving thanks for who you are, giving thanks for and praises for you to be kept out of the bringer and to being in the morning, for you being robbed the most high and glorious at noon, and for you to be tomb the complete one in the evening. We come together as a collective to say thank you today. Thank you for waking us up this morning and giving us the breath of life. We thank you ever so much for putting us here for such a time as this. Thank you for this collective unity that we have together amongst each other, bringing like minds together in the spirit of Ma'at and the spirit of Wosei. We thank you ever so much for all the people who have been able to come in and out the doors of Wosei, who has blessed the doors of Wosei, who has worked so hard for Wosei, who has given their time and their talent and their tenth to Wosei, and thus given it to you. We thank you, Most High, for the healing of our bodies. We thank you so much for the strength of our minds and our hearts. We thank you for love. We thank you for relationship. We thank you for the highs and lows of life. We bless your name. We thank you, O Amun Ra, for this time and this place. We thank you for being able to have loved ones to celebrate with at any time of the year. We thank you for hugs, as right now sometimes we can't give each other hugs as we used to. We just thank you for the times that we could, and just the freeness of love and the freeness of camaraderie. And we just thank you for higher mindedness. We thank you for the opening of our hearts. We thank you for the opening up of our spirits and our souls to the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding that you would have for us to attain. We thank you for bringing us up and moving us past where we were and bringing us up to this point in this time and this place. We thank you so much for enlightenment and moving towards the light. We thank you for letting us being able to have a glimpse of moving towards you. We thank you for putting our feet on this path of Ma'at. We thank you for learning about Ma'at. We thank you for being able to be to work with Ma'at, be rewarded with Ma'at, to have Ma'at be wherever we are. We thank you ever so much, Most High, and we just give you all the glory, honor, and praise. Amen and Ashe.
Is there another?
I say.
Please come down.
I would like to say, thank you to the Most High, Amen-Ra, for all of the blessings that you've given us. Thank you so much. I am forever grateful and inspired by the fact that I have found the Wosei community, and that there are people everywhere that are ready for truth, ready to rise, and ready to grow and to continue taking the spiritual revolution upward. I pray for my children, my family, Candace Camille Heyman Gresham, my son, Stephen Omar McCarthy, and my daughter-in-law, Karan Parker McCarthy, and my new and first grandbaby, Melanie Rose McCarthy. I pray for all of us in all of our community and all of us on this call and everywhere in your families to be blessed, healthy, safe, and just happy that we are still alive. The pandemic cannot stop love and health and happiness. That's it. Amen. Ashe.
And I also would like to just join in agreement with all the words that have been spoken already. Just feel the frequency, the vibration of the love that's being shared here today. What a blessing. And so I just put forth my petitions, my requests, my desires before the Spirit, the Creator, Divine Spirit, Amen-Ra. I just speak the word that we would be, that our needs will be met, that our wounds will be healed. And I just speak this word of blessing for each one here, and just an acceptance that we are making progress. Each one of us individually, we're coming into a deeper knowing of who we are, a deeper knowing of what we need to do to move forward, and how we can just be so instrumental in the advancement of our people. Because I see Black people, African people around the world, I see us progressing. I see us advancing. I see us breaking through. And as we do it, we're doing it for our brothers and sisters. So I just speak a word of blessing for each of us, for this wonderful consciousness, this wonderful community that sustains and supports each other as we do the great work that is in front of us. Give thanks. So let it be. Ashe.
So as we close this prayer, as I close it, full of gratefulness, attitude of gratitude for each and every one that's here today, those who are not here but in person, but are here in spirit. We are just so full, and we've been doing this going on 41 years here in, we'll say 41 years. We will celebrate anniversary next Sunday, 41 years. We're thankful. We're so thankful, Amen-Ra, for our school, Iliamade, and we are working toward
having more Ileama days throughout the states. We know there's such a need to be able to teach our children and love on our children. And so we're thankful. We're thankful for our growth. We're thankful for our growth in our Wose communities and the new people that are coming that are ready to do the work, because there's a lot of work for us to do. So our hearts are full of pride and full of humbleness for the work we have to do. And we know our ancestors did so much more. They did a lot. They made it through. They made it through the pandemic of Jim Crow, of enslavement, of the Middle Passages. We have been through pandemics before. So as we go through this one, we are honored to be here and know we have work to do and thankful to do the work.
Ashe.
Amen.
Ashe.
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 Ashe, Ashe, amen, amen. And as they say in Ghana, amen. I want to tip for a second. Minister Alicia mentioned that at this time of the service, normally we'd be hugging each other. We would be greeting one another. And even though you're out there and you're not here, doesn't mean we still can't get a little bit of that virtually. So I want to encourage people to reach out and give whoever is in your space a hug. Amen.
I see you. 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 I see, I see, I see. I see you.
We can't allow the limits of physical space determine our spiritual space.
Come on now.
We engage in the way.
Teach.
And the way is determined by the principles of M.I.T,
Teach.
where there's reciprocity in what we do. As we share, as we give, we also receive. So we ain't got to say, oh, we would wish we could hug one another.
Ashe.
No, let's hug one another. Let's embrace one another, whether it be virtually, whether it be spiritually, or it just be emotionally. We want to keep being that which the way has called us to be. Ashe.
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 And so now we're coming to a part of the program where we're about to get a special treat in our celebration service. And I'm just gonna simply say, I'm calling forth our minister, Makalisi, for this special gift.
Ashe, Ashe. Good morning, Wose. I'm in Ra, Hetep to one and all, and here's another hug. Ashe. I come with a special request from our brother, Alaman Haile. Most of us, I think, know Brother Alaman Haile. He's living now in DC, and he's a survivor of a very serious stroke that he's been surviving and battling with for over 30 years. And one of the things that he asked for this song that I'm so thankful. And he especially wants to dedicate it to Brother Amin Akbar, Baba Amin Akbar, who's now an ancestor, but he's the one who introduced Alaman to Wose community, brought him into Wose community, got him active and involved in Wose community. And many of us observed him even battling off the effects of a stroke, that he was probably more active and productive than a whole bunch of us who didn't have those kinds of problems. But he's asked for this to give thanks to Brother Amin, his spirit that brought him to Wose, to many of the Wose community people members who have supported him over the years, and where he is now in a senior a senior living situation, and many of the people there are reaching out to him with love and compassion as they see his spirit. He is still battling very strong. There's a place there near him called the Senior Service Center that raises money to help seniors. And they had allowed him to be the speaker on one of their days fairly recently. It was a fundraising day. And on that day, after he made his presentation, they raised $53,000. And then he was on the cover of their annual report. And so just for those things, he's asking that this song be played, that I'm so thankful. Brother Amin and the Wose community and others who have embraced him as he's endeavored to do all he could in every way he could that the spirit of M.I.T leads him to do. So let's hear the song.
This song is saying that we are so thankful to be African, and if you're young, hopefully you'll feel it down in your toes one day and be real thankful that your mom and dad is African. I am so thankful to be African. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am so thankful to be African. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I know the ancestors and elders are smiling every day because they know we are, won't say, the Church of the African Way. I am so thankful to be African. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I love you and you love me. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's God's destiny. It was meant to be. We should live together as one. In God's creation, hatred should never be. There's a master plan to destroy you and me. It was meant to be. It's God's destiny. We should live together as one. I am so thankful to be African. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am so thankful to be African. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And you should be too, every day.
I hope everyone recognizes Mama Jasiri singing that song. I see.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. I don't know if I'm the only one, but that was a powerful rendition.
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know about if I was the only one, but it's a moving and touching rendition. Sounds like the things that my grandmother and my grandfather used to sing like when they was in the church house. It just speaks to an experience that you have to live in order to sing like that.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if y'all really feel me, because see, that's what happens when you really hear and feel a song that is brought from the living of a life.
Yes.
And that's the nature of the African way. We're speaking to that spirit. That's why we ask for the ancestors to join us. That's why we beseech those who have proceeded before us to celebrate with us.
Yes.
Because that's the spirit
that
we're talking about.
Yes.
Ashe,
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 Ashe.
And so now we have the part of our service where we do the affirmation. And that is going to be brought to us by Mama Pam and Baba Kalabasi.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Mama Pam, why don't you take the lead?
Good morning, everyone, on this beautiful, blessed day. This is the Wose Community Affirmation. We will know God's truth to be free and self-determined.
Creator, help us to remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors, and to honor the struggles of our elders.
Let us strive to bring new vision and life to our people. Let there be peace and harmony among us.
Let us be loving, sharing, and creative. Let us work, study, and listen so we may learn, teach, and cultivate self-reliance.
Grant us power, O Holy One, as we struggle to resurrect our hearts and our homeland.
We will raise our children according to the needs of our nation. Discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will strive to be the living models of the new direction of our people.
We are an African people.
We are the children of God.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. As they say in Ghana, Aman.
Aman.
All right.
We are now going to be treated to a song by the Sounds of My.
Good morning, Wellside family. Can you see Mama Latrice back there? Wave your hand.
Yeah.
Back there.
I should.
We're happy to be with you today. We want to dedicate our first selection to everybody, to Africa, but especially to Mama Darnisha, the great facilitator of our journey back home. Some of you may recognize our rendition of this song. This is a stripped down little version of it. Hope you appreciate it. Anything else you want to say, Mama Latrice?
I just want to add that our trip was revolutionary and something that we had been trying to do our whole lifetimes as the first, at least in my lineage, to go back. And so none of that would have been possible without spirit and, of course, Mama Darnisha, and wanting to dedicate, as Baba David shared, this to everyone, and also special thanks to Baba Tai and Buzz for joining us and completing that mission for us as a family. So thank you. All right. See if you can share this out. We're still working out some of the kinks. We think it'll be good. So give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
We'll see.
Latrice, quit whispering.
I'm whispering. Oh no.
All right, here we go, families. Let us know if there's any issues. Oh, there are issues. Kazoom. You couldn't hear that, family, because we couldn't hear it either. I can't hear you guys at all. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
we hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, because we don't hear us.
Ah,
So did you
You're
hear?
loud and clear.
Did you hear some drums?
Did you hear any music?
no, no drums.
No drums.
Okay.
No music, David.
We're going a cappella then. Here we go. Here you go.
God, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up strong and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home. We gotta start over. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I want to do it right. Okay.
Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy again. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy again. You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. You can always come home. Come with me. Happy trip back to the promised land. All will be happy again.
Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Come on back where you really belong. You can always come home. Welcome back.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thank you so much, Sounds of My Heart. We're now going to have the historical tribute led by Sister Debbie.
All right, let's get ready for that.
Mhm. Ooh.
For someone whose life was only recorded by Romans and Greeks, his enemies, much is known about Hannibal. In this map of modern North Africa, the arrow indicates where the remains of Carthage lie. In this presentation, we're going to cover a lot of different subjects about Hannibal, significant battles, his death, and strategies. I think when it's over, you'll have a really good sense of who he is. You can see the Barcas were a force to be reckoned with. His father, Hamilcar, was a formidable general, viceroy of Carthage, cultured and intelligent. His sons were referred to as the lion's brood. Though there were 3 Punic Wars, Hannibal was only alive and able for the Second War. The history of the Punic Wars is a family heritage. According to historians, when Hannibal was 9, his father made him dip his hand in blood and swear an oath of hatred against Rome. The violet represents Carthage and the pink, Rome. During this period, Rome and Carthage were the dominant powers. Carthage ruled by sea and Rome by land. As expected in politics, they were sometimes allies and sometimes enemies based on the threat. I digress for a moment to describe the Carthaginian army, which consisted of mostly mercenaries. There were Gauls, Iberians, and Africans from all along the northern coast of Africa. But because they were mercenaries, loyalties were easily lost, and they were also subject to disease that they would bring from their various countries. They also spoke different languages, and so you can imagine strong leadership was required to discipline so many disparate parts. Rome, on the other hand, was served by Roman citizens. It was an honor to serve. They were committed to the fatherland, and actually service was required if you wanted to have any political office. And yet Hannibal attacked a Roman protectorate at Saguntum and began a 1,000-mile trek to the Italian peninsula, crossing the Rhone and the Alps. He started with 46,000 men, 38 elephants, including 9,000 horses, and by the time he reached the Italian peninsula, he had lost 20,000 men, including 3,000 horses. The plan for attack on Rome had been years in the making. By this time, Hannibal's father was dead, but the lion's brood carried on. They had spies in the Roman Senate. They had knowledge of the climate, resources, and personalities in the city-states. Hannibal believed that many of the city-states were not happy with Rome and would be happy to join him if given the opportunity. But he didn't put his trust in these alliances, understanding that allegiances would change many times during the course of the war. Seeing barbarians gathering to attack as they made arrangements to cross the Rhone, Hannibal sent a contingent upriver to flank them. As they started to cross the river, the barbarians were attacked and, being surprised by the flanking army, were utterly routed. Even to this day, no one knows for certain the route that Hannibal took through the Alps. They survived extreme weather, extreme heights, and guerrilla attacks by native tribes. His surprise entry into the peninsula led Rome to cancel their plans to invade Africa. Historians indicate there was no clear trail and that Hannibal made one. He built a 300-meter stretch of path that had been destroyed by an avalanche. The downslope was far more treacherous than the ascent in the Alps. He survived a guerrilla attack by traveling through the protected pass at night. Again, Hannibal believed if given a chance, many city-states would opt to be free of Roman rule. So I thought it'd be really informative to see this map of all the city-states that occupied Rome at the time. At this point, most of them were allies. Although many did change their allegiance and allied themselves with Hannibal, it was really just based on who was winning at the time. And so those alliances changed back and forth just as Hannibal expected. So this is a picture of the initial Roman losses the first 2 years after Hannibal arrived in the Italian peninsula, and you can see the numbers are really breathtaking. During these battles, his army swelled to 60,000, including allies. So you remember he started with 26,000. Some city-states even attacked Roman armies on their own. These battles changed everything for the Romans, from Senate leadership to recruitment policies. They learned tactics and strategy from Hannibal. It is entirely significant to acknowledge what a feat it was for Hannibal to provision his army off the land the entire time that he was in the Italian peninsula. Both of these pictures are sites of Hannibal's early wins. Trivia, the previous slide, and this one, Trasimene. And you can just see the abundance even today. Hannibal was in the Italian peninsula wreaking absolute havoc. If he had been supported by Carthage, he would have succeeded. Merchants back in Carthage, largely interested in profits and not strategy, invested in other theaters in Spain, which failed. But you can see he arrived in Italy in 218, and as late as 203 BC, for 15 years, he was in the Italian peninsula. The Romans learned over time and began to use Hannibal's strategies against him, but he persisted. Few would attack Hannibal, resulting in either a loss or a draw. In the end, a Roman attack on Carthage caused him to return home. It was the Numidian cavalry combined with the Romans that defeated Hannibal in the last battle of the Punic War. Hannibal escaped and was elected one of the chief magistrates of Carthage. It was a devastating loss for Carthage. Hannibal continued to provide military advice against Rome until finally, at some point, the Romans demanded the surrender of Hannibal. He was serving as a military advisor to the king of Bithynia in another unsuccessful war against a Roman ally, and when he found himself surrounded by Romans and unable to escape. And so he killed himself by taking poison, probably around 183 BC. And now on to strategy. Hannibal utilized mainly the now critically endangered African forest elephant and some Asian elephants in his campaign. It's said that one of Hannibal's motto is engage when win is expected. He used elephants to spread terror in his enemies. Many had never seen elephants before. Against superior power at sea, they placed snakes in pottery and threw them on the attacking ships, and they won the day. Hannibal never trusted information from others and always conducted his own reconnaissance. He worked through his plans meticulously and communicated effectively to his troops, no matter the language requirement. Crossing a marshland for 4 days and 3 nights through water, he arrived to a location that had great provisions and his choice of theater of operations. But this marshland was treacherous, so much so that Hannibal actually lost an eye due to the infection that he received in this crossing. In one case, he put the campfires out to show the army had departed when they were actually lying in wait. In another case, he left the campfires burning to show the army was encamped when they were actually advancing to attack. He moved his army by night through a ravine in the Alps while the enemy was unaware. They never thought that they would travel at night. He hid over 5,000 men and additional cavalry in a ravine to ambush an army that he then incited to attack. He would fall back after testing enemy strength and resolve and then use that information for the later assault. And he wasn't above bribing Roman mercenaries. Hannibal was a genius in so many ways. He had the patience of maturity. He was cautious before and after victories. For crossing the Alps alone, he belongs in the annal of history. His tactics were so varied, they almost seemed to change for every encounter. Provisioning an army of 26,000 in a foreign country is really unheard of. He was able to, he used rear guards, flankers, and vanguards in logistics. It was unheard of at the time. He was able to look ahead and behind and keep a big picture. His masterful strategy was always in place. He was a moral warrior. At the end of the Punic War, they didn't ask for his death. His chivalrous conduct to fallen enemies led them to hold him in high esteem. He held the affection of his men. Even though they were from different countries and spoke no language, throughout the entire 15 years, there is no record of any dissension. He operated without advisors. He made his own plans, kept them to himself, and executed them perfectly. He understood that he was important as a general, but he was still brave and had the respect of the warriors. He organized his army based on need. Sometimes the elephants would be in front, sometimes they would be in back, sometimes the cavalry would be second, sometimes they would be at the very end. He changed everything all the time based on need. And throughout all of the entire 15 years, he was in the Italian peninsula without support from Carthage. He never lost sight of his goal or was disheartened. The crossing of the Alps is extraordinary, but for me, surviving in foreign lands, provisioning 26,000 warriors and animals off that land, and surviving unbeaten for 15 years in hostile territory is just exceptional, unparalleled. And so his power over men was extraordinary. No one ever held an army of such heterogeneous materials together under such trials as he. Though abandoned by Carthage, he maintained himself in Italy by a series of bold and skillful campaigns against vast odds which have no equal in history. Hannibal taught the Romans how to wage war. This concludes my presentation on Hannibal Barca the Carthaginian, also termed the father of strategy. It's said that every successful general studies Hannibal at some time in their career. Thank you.
Ashe, ashe, ashe. Many of you may remember and recall that one of our astute M.I.Ts, minister in training, Malik Shabaka, spoke of militancy in M.I.T. I think that the Carthaginian general Hannibal was an example of using the principles of M.I.T as a way to do military action, which Sister has said was unmatched in our history.
Yes.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Beautiful. A beautiful, beautiful, powerful presentation. And so now we come to, once again, the songs as brought to us by the Sounds of M.I.T.
Okay, family, we got a little side singer in here with us now. All right. We're going to say we're going to be faithful always. 1, 2.
Now you see the head.
Huh? No, babe, you hear me. We're having amazing technical difficulties that we did not have when we tested this with Baba Tai. All right, plan B, here we go.
you showed up, just like Spirit called you to. You came through. We did it 'cause of you.
Yeah, boy.
Ashe. Yes.
Right. Get a drummer some. Get a drummer some.
From the drum beat of the young one. Don't tell me that he didn't know what was going on. Ashe. And thank you, sounds of my and the unexpected guest appearance from your sibling child.
He said, Ashe, Ashe, oh.
Yes, Ashe, oh. Go ahead, youngster.
Youngster.
Oh, okay.
Sankara.
Thank you, Sankara.
Next, we'll have the Litany of Sacrifice, led by Sister Debbie and Baba Ed. You tell me he ain't lying.
Good morning, Wosay family.
Morning, Ed.
This is a litany of sacrifice. Save us, O Holy One, by your name. Vindicate us by your might. Hear my prayer, divine protector. Listen to the words of my mouth. How can we repay the Holy One for the gifts that have been given to us? We will lift up the cup of salvation and call upon the God of our ancestors. We will fulfill our vows to our Creator in the presence of all of our people. Gladly, we bring our sacrifices to you. We will praise your name, O Amun-Ra, for it is good. Umoja, unity. We shall strive to maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race.
We shall define, name, create, and speak for ourselves.
Ujima, collective work and responsibility. We shall build and maintain our communities together. Our brothers and sisters' problems shall be ours to solve together.
Ujima, cooperative economics. Together we shall build and maintain our own businesses and together profit from them.
Nia, purpose. We shall make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community and the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness.
Kuumba, creativity. We shall do as much as we can, in any way we can, to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than when we inherited it.
Imani, faith. We will believe with all our hearts in our God, our people, and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Ashe.
We have the ways to give on the screen now. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we will finish this litany of sacrifice with prayer. Let us pray. In all of us, there is a still small voice that knows. It knows that we are intimately and forever linked as one. There is a boldness required to acknowledge this connection. Likewise, there is infinite power in unity. As we consider our gifts of time, talent, and treasure this morning, remove the scales of isolation from our eyes that block access to the limitless energy of love. O Holy One, bless and multiply these gifts that we are receiving from those of time, talent, or treasure, and those who have not to give. Open our hands and our hearts to meet the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of the family. Help us to be here now. Help us to be here now. Amen and Ashe. Amen and Ashe. Amen and Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So now we're coming to the part of the service where we are going to hear the message brought to you capably this morning by our sister, the M.I.T. Rauna. Ashe, Ashe, let you hear and let you receive.
Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Ra woke me up this morning, started me on my way. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Ra woke me up this morning, started me on my way. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Ra woke me up this morning, clothed in my right mind. Didn't wake me up too late. Ra woke me right on time. Woke me up this morning and started me on my way. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now, right now, right now, oh, right now, right now. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now, right now, right now, oh, right now, right now. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Ra woke me up this morning, clothed in my right mind. He didn't wake me up too late. Ra woke me right on time. Woke me up this morning, started me on my way. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now, right now, right now, oh, right now, right now. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now, right now, oh, right now, right now. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now. Amen-Ra is blessing me right now, right now.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Hello. Asheo was a Amen-Ra is blessing me right now. May I please have permission from an elder to move forward?
Move forward, my sister. Let us hear the word.
Thank you so much. So I want to start with a prayer. Just briefly here.
Father God, Mother, Father God, Divine Creator, I ask that you be the filter to my words, that you not let them fall on deaf ears, that you be the life that lives in me, that you be the breath that moves through me, that you be the spirit in all of our people unified. I know I'm a little different, God, but you made me that way. So it's all right.
Yes, it is.
Ashe. I'm going to start out with some freedom writings. Lucia, page 41, the book of the Tahotep. Be not arrogant because of your knowledge. Take counsel with the ignorant as well as the wise. For the limits of knowledge in any field have never been set, and no one has ever reached them. Wisdom is rarer than emeralds, and yet it is found amongst the women who gather at the grindstone. Ashe.
Ashe.
Also want to offer to you from 2000 Seasons, chapter 3, page 79. This was before going to Anoa in preparation. 4 seasons we needed to hide a sufficient store for a journey whose length we were uncertain of. 4 seasons of the strictest discipline in which no one amongst us indulged himself with more food than he needed, yet no one was allowed to debilitate himself with an overzealous abstinence. In the strenuous times ahead, ill health would have destroyed us just as surely as the predator's greed. And then lastly, from 2000 Seasons again, there is a great force in the world, a force spiritual and able to shape the physical universe.
Yes.
But the force is not something cut off.
Yes.
Not something separate from ourselves. It is an energy in us, strongest in our working, breathing, thinking together as one people. Weakest when we are scattered, confused, broken into individual, unconnected fragments. Let's go.
Yes.
Ashe. God is blessing me right now. He woke me up this morning, clothed in my right mind. I heard a version of this song a few months ago, and I immediately felt moved. The words to the song, I had to look up so I made sure I understood what was going on. And I had to pause on the clothed in my right mind part. I didn't quite get the significance of clothed in my right mind. And not only that, but clothed is kind of a funny word to say, clothed. Go ahead and try it yourself. I could relate to the being in my right mind part, because I don't mind telling you, I have had the experience of not being in my right mind.
Come on now.
And therefore, I am grateful every morning that I wake up and I am in my right mind.
Come on now, come on, tell the truth.
So over the next months leading up to today, I have to tell you that whether it was me being at a stoplight or me walking down the street, I have encountered no less than 3 or 4 people who were not clothed and definitely not in their right mind.
Come on now.
And I said, okay. After the first one, it just kind of went over my head a little bit, but after the second and third, I realized, because God will show you the things that you need to see to magnify something for you.
Come on now.
That it is not a situation to be taken for granted.
Yes.
Being clothed and in our right mind on a daily basis is not the way everybody starts their day.
All right.
So we now have an opportunity anew every day, every moment, to make positive changes that will affect us dramatically. Some will affect us more immediately than others. But our faith tells us that creation is a continuous process. And in that, so would the ability to renew be. It would be a continuous process. We can renew, we can reinvent, we can start it up again, we can add and subtract from it.
Teach.
So when I realized that my Sunday fell after Thanksgiving, but before the anniversary, which then kind of leads into the holidays and Kwanzaa and New Year's and all of that stuff, I wanted to look at this time as a time of transition and new beginnings, right? People come up with resolutions, New Year's resolutions, but I find that resolutions are usually about what you're gonna not do, what you can't have, what you're gonna take away, right? What you're gonna stop, right? And that is not what I think our lives are about. Our lives are about abundance. Our lives should be about additions.
Come on now.
Our lives should be about greatness, right? our lives should be about all of the things that are here for us. So I want to look at just a few things that we can look at from the perspective of adding to our lives, as pouring into ourselves and pouring into others, right?
Yes.
Because God is blessing me right now.
Right there.
So
Come on.
this is what
Come
I'm
on.
going to do in return. So this year, I'm making a list of reciprocations instead of resolutions.
Come on.
Because
Okay.
I like to
Uh-huh.
reciprocate for that blessing that I'm getting right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Say that.
Today, right? So there's 3 areas that we're going to talk about. And I think that they're all vital to our well-being. I think they're all vital to our success, okay? And there are also things that you should be able to implement right away, because again, we're talking about right now.
Come on,
So
come
these
on.
need to be things that you can get on it right away.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna start with health. Now, when I told someone, we're not gonna say who, but when I told someone that I was gonna talk about health in my message, they said, "You're not gonna get on our case about eating turkey last week, are you?" And my response was, and it is now, no, I'm not gonna get on your case about eating turkey. But now if you have some chitlins, we might have to have a conversation. We might have to talk about it.
Oh,
But
no.
no, I'm not gonna mess with you on the turkey, right? There is a saying that says, take care of your body.
Yes.
It is the only place you have to live. When I heard that, that kind of set me back a little bit. Take care of your body.
Come on.
It is the only place you have to live.
Come on.
Because we think of where we live as outside of ourselves, right? We think of our houses, we think of our apartments, we think of the mat in somebody else's house if that's our circumstance. Maybe we might be in a park, right?
Come on now.
We're thinking of something outside of ourselves.
It's good.
But in truth, this skin, this biggest organ that we have,
Come on.
encases
Teach it.
everything that we come with.
All right.
Yes,
Right?
come on.
This is our
Tell the truth.
house.
Yes.
And we often say the house is our temple, right?
Right.
Or we have the temple of God and the body is the temple. Well, that's your house.
Yeah.
Right?
Come on
Right?
now.
No matter where you take it, this is still it.
There you
Right?
go.
So
Come
let's
on now.
begin at the beginning, right? I used to say that to Minister Emma. He's like, what does that mean? Well, it means begin at the beginning.
All right now. Come on.
Right here, right?
Come
So
on,
I'm
then.
gonna liken it to a car, right?
All
I like old school cars. Growing up, we had 2 Lincoln Continentals stretched out with the suicide doors on one of them, right? Right? Now, I don't care what kind of car you have, what kind of car you might envision yourself at. You might think a Cadillac, you might be a Audi, you might be a Volvo, whatever it is. You have to do some maintenance.
Come on
No
now.
matter what.
Yes.
If you are driving that car, if you are putting wear and tear on it, you have to get it serviced.
Come on.
You
There
have
you
to get the
go.
oil changed. You have
Yeah.
to get your tires
Tell
oil
the
changed.
truth.
You have to get some new windshield wipers every once in a while in the winter so you're not just running off the road and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
come on.
But no matter how well you maintain it on a regular basis, at some point, you're gonna need some major work.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Come on
Because
now.
that's the nature of things,
Yeah.
right?
Must gotta
Things
take
get
care.
used,
Gotta take
things
care.
wear out. Nothing can get old without aging.
Come on now.
It just doesn't work that way.
Come on, teach.
Right? No matter how well you maintain it, it just goes together,
Right.
right?
Right.
So you just have to be able to understand at some point, something's gonna need to be rebuilt, something's gonna need to be replaced, something's gonna need to be overhauled.
Come on.
And in that, it may not exactly run the way it did before or after that.
Come on.
It might set you back a little bit.
Right, right.
It might cost you in one way or another. And that
Teach.
cost might be time,
Well.
that cost might be money,
Come
that
on.
cost might be a little hitch in your giddy up after
Yeah.
that.
Come
That
on.
might be
I know
right.
about that.
But we only get one.
Yeah,
We
that's
get
right.
one. I can't pull up to the shop and say, I would like to trade this one in and get one of those over there and wheel on out the door and I start all over again. That's not how it works.
Right, right.
And if it is, somebody tell me so I know where to go, right? 'Cause, my feet be hurting, all kind of issues. I would like to trade some things, but I don't know. You know, I remember growing up and they used to say, it takes 3 days to digest a steak. And I would laugh at it, right? Because I was 22.
Okay.
And when you're 22 and everything's revved up,
Come on.
your digestive system is revved up, and your processing is revved up, and everything's going in the right directions, revved up, right? You think that's all funny, right? So we're gonna be transparent here. I still eat a steak about twice a year. Right? I moved up from T-bone to ribeye. Nonetheless, I eat a steak about twice a year, and you know what? As soon as I eat that steak, I go, okay, what's day one now? It has become very real. You know what I'm saying? It has become very real.
I know.
And the next thing I'm doing is waiting for when my stomach gonna grumble from that steak that my body is trying to process in this old Cadillac, right?
Come on now.
Yeah. Why are we eating things that make us feel bad? Why are we eating things that make us sick?
Yeah.
Why are we eating things that when we eat it, we immediately say, I know I'm gonna regret this later.
Right.
What good sense is that?
Not good.
What good sense is that, right? God blessing me right now.
Come on.
Come on now. With all the what good sense is that? I know them will regret this later.
You're right, man.
The farms are in horrible condition. Farmers are doing things that they know better than doing because they are pressured by the government. They are pressured by the different entities to produce more, to sell for less, to have things turned over quickly. Our animals are getting pumped up with stuff to make them bigger. Our animals are being given all kinds of antibiotics by names other than antibiotics, which if you knew the chemistry of it, you know it's still an antibiotic.
Come on now.
Okay?
Come on.
And we are feeding this to ourselves. We're feeding this to our children, right? What I'm saying to you is that, just a suggestion, we should at least care for the temple of Ra, as well as we care for our Acura.
Yes.
Whoa.
We should at least care
Come
for
on.
the temple of Ra, as well as we care for our Volkswagen.
Okay.
We should at least care for the temple of Ra, as well as we care for whatever it might be that you're about. Right? What I'm suggesting, what I'm saying to
Oh, put it in the drawer.
Okay, we put it.
And the thing out on the refrigerator,
Hello?
the basket.
Actively looking after and improving mental health will increase your overall well-being and will make you happy. Again, this is not about depriving yourself because God does want us to have the good things in life. So what I would like to see us do for our reciprocation is to try this. Let's just say we eat more fruits and vegetables.
Come on. How about that?
Starting out, we take half of our plate and say that's going to be fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
The
Come
other
on
half,
now.
yum.
I'm there.
You still want to put
I'm
your turkey
there.
on the other half? You go ahead.
Come on.
You still want to put your steak on the other half? You go ahead.
Come on.
You still want to put your chitlins on the other half? Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
You still want to do whatever you want to do with the other half of your plate?
Please.
Let's just get going for that.
Yes.
And let's make progress over time. Over progress, let's get it to where we got 2/3 of our plate are fruit.
Come on now.
And 1/3 is something else. And then let's work on moving it up to 75% of our plate being fruits and vegetables. Now, I know some of you are going, well, I'm diabetic. Well, you know you're diabetic. So you eat the fruits you can eat. You eat the vegetables you can eat.
Come on
and that's
now.
how we're going to deal with that, right? So ultimately, what we want to do is we want to get to a point where you got so much of the goodness on your plate that you can elbow out that other stuff. Or it's just a little chicken wing sitting over there in the corner looking lonely.
Yes.
You go ahead
Come
and
on now.
because you already had the greens and the beans and the kale and the tomatoes and the corn and all those other lovely things that you can get, right? And then we're gonna work on just elbowing little Mr. Chicken Wing out here. Now, y'all understand, as I say it, I learn it, and I speak it. Because I had some turkey last week.
Yeah, okay now.
Keep
it that way.
Right? As I say it, I'm learning it, I'm speaking it, we're in this together.
That's right.
So this is what
Come on, Rauna.
So we're gonna go back to that freedom writing, because it's important right here. That one in 2000 seasons where they were getting ready to go to a Noah, and they said 4 seasons we needed to hide a sufficient store for a journey whose length we were uncertain of. We needed the strictest discipline in which no one amongst us indulged himself more than he or she needed. No one amongst us was allowed to debilitate themselves either. So we're not talking about doing too much. We're not talking about doing too little. We're talking about doing it in a way that makes sense. Now in 2000 seasons, they were getting ready to go on a journey. They were about to make a run for a better place, a better time, a better land. They had a plan. They had something to do. And they knew that in getting this done, we needed to be in the best possible shape in order to make that happen.
Now
so
let's
I don't know about you, Jose, but I got some more stuff that I need to accomplish.
There you go. Come on now.
And in that, I need to be in the best possible shape that I can be.
Yes.
To achieve those goals. So as God is blessing me right now, I'm gonna give it back and say, well, here's what I'm doing to thank you for giving me another day.
Yeah. Come on.
Now, I'm not promoting vegetarianism, veganism, none of that stuff. But what I will say to you is that if you are already a vegetarian or a vegan, as some of our members are, what I would ask you to do is take a look at your portions. Take a look at your carbohydrates. Take a look at your sugars.
Come on.
Add more of those engine cleaning foods to your plate and some of those high performance phytonutrients.
Come on. Yeah.
I want you to just take it up another notch, right? And be example for the rest of us, you know? Reach out and pull some of us up. Next time we have to get together and cook some food, I will be accepting 5 dishes from you vegetarians. All right, so now we're gonna go forward here and we're gonna move on to the next thing. The next thing I wanna talk about, because God is blessing me right now.
Well, right now.
Next thing I wanna talk about is our wealth. Now we're going to address ourselves and the reciprocation of the blessing on an external and an internal basis. So I'm going to start with external. We're going to talk about social wealth. Now, social wealth is about your connection in society. It's determined by your connections with people, family, friends, community, things like that.
Come on.
The people you surround yourself with will affect your social wealth, either positively or negatively.
That's right.
Social connection is the currency of social wealth. And I can just see M.I.T. Brother Bill right now, like, oh, she gonna talk about social wealth. Oh, that's right, Bill. That's right. I'm going there. Now, some of these connections you inherit, like family, relatives, things like that. And others you earn, like spouses and friends. And some of y'all going, I earned my spouse, I hope you did.
Yes, indeed. Come on. Come on.
Opportunities to increase your social wealth. The fact that you're here today on this Sunday on Zoom means you appreciate being a part of a community, being part of something bigger than yourself. Right?
Come on.
All right.
Jay.
At the end of the celebration, when we stay on and we chat and we visit and we talk about what's coming up, we have the Knowledge Matters Wednesdays also with Minister M.I.T and the guests that he brings on. We have the Women of Jose. We have a book reading group. We have lots of ways here where you can become bonded within our community. There is no rule that says you can't connect to someone in any of these groups outside of these groups, right? You can go in the chat and say, hey, we seem to be like-minded people. Here's my number. Maybe we can get together for tea, or maybe we can get together outside of this. And you can do that. What do they say? The grass is greener where it gets watered.
Woo! So come on now. Come on now.
Relationships, you're trying to make some of these bonds, you're trying to increase your social wealth. You got to take action in order to make that happen, right?
Right.
This is the bigger piece of social wealth. It's used to fulfill emotional necessities like security, belonging, connectedness. Being part of a larger group through social connection allows us to feel much bigger than our individual selves. Because that's one of the major things we hear with people, particularly when they're dealing with depression. They feel alone.
Yes.
They are alone.
Come on.
Right? So this helps in not having that to be some issue in your life. So social wealth is used during interaction and is mainly used to provide, it's a way to meet your ongoing necessities. It allows daily interactions with people. The more positive and deep social connections you have, the more opportunities you're going to have daily interactions, and overall you'll feel emotionally better. So basically, the more deep, good relationships I have in my life, then the more opportunity I have to have positive days, right?
Come on.
Because as I'm dealing and interacting with people, and they're positive people like Mama Sydney sitting here, and they're positive people like Minister Downing here, and they're positive people like those of you I can't see, but I know that you're out there, then there's a pretty good chance, pretty good odds that I will have had a pleasant day.
Come
right?
on.
Because my interactions are leaning toward me surrounding myself with pleasant and positive and uplifting people.
Say that. Say
Come
that.
on.
Say that.
So what we're talking about is that it also provides confidence for you in the ability to meet your emotional needs of the future. The more social wealth you have, the more secure you feel about meeting your emotional needs in the future at times of emotional distress. And again, are you having something going on in your life, as we all are going to have from time to time? And when you're going through that, when you see that time approaching, are you able to start thinking of, you know what, I bet you I can call and talk to Sister Connie. And she's gonna pick up the phone and she's gonna talk to me, right? She might not have the answer, but she's at least gonna have the ear.
Come on.
Right?
Come
When
on.
I'm going through something, when something is coming up, when something is happening with my employment, when something is happening with my child, am I gonna be able to have someone that I can just go and sit in the park and you don't have to say nothing, you don't have to do nothing, they just will sit there with me and I can feel like I'm going to get through it.
Say that.
Right?
Speak on it.
We're
Say
talking
that.
about social
Yeah,
wealth.
come on now.
We're talking about social wealth. It's not dollars and cents.
Come on now.
It's about people, it's about your surroundings, it's about your environment,
Yes.
it's about lifting each other up as a community,
Yes.
and being
Yes.
there to
Yes.
support each other, being there to encourage and nurture each other.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking
Yes.
about.
Yes. Yes.
I say.
I'm gonna go back to great force in the world, force spiritual and able to shape the physical universe, but that force is not something cut off. It is not something separate from ourselves. It is an energy in us, strongest in our working, breathing, thinking together as one people. Weakest when we are scattered, confused, broken into individual, unconnected fragments, right?
Right.
So we're talking about linking up.
Come on
We're
now.
talking about pulling it together.
All right.
We're talking about identifying your resources.
Yes.
We're talking about recognizing that we are stronger together.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Rather than.
All right. We're gonna move forward to the last subject. Now, I totally forgot to tell y'all what this is, so I'm about to tell you now.
Speak on it.
Come on now.
Come on.
And we're gonna understand what this is. This is a cup that I brought out of the house at home. And I brought this cup with me as a reminder because my mom tells me, you gotta remember one thing about church, I like to say church, and that is that number one is filled with people.
I say.
Number two, you gotta take what's for you,
Yes.
what's meant for you,
Yes.
and what's not, leave it there.
Yes,
Yes.
come
So I'm
on.
gonna raise this cup and I'm gonna say to you, take what's for you, Rose. And if it's not, leave it there. But I'm gonna have this cup.
Yes.
All right now.
Section 3, love and happiness.
Love and happiness. Yeah. Something that'll make you do right, make you do wrong. Love.
Love and happiness is that elusive thing, that magical thing, that can't live with it, can't live without it thing. It's that thing that we wrongly believe lives outside of ourselves. That thing that we search for, that we pray for, that we crave. Love and happiness.
Love and happiness. Wait a minute, something's going wrong. Someone's on the phone. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, talking about how she can make it right. Yeah.
Something is definitely wrong. She is on the phone at 3 in the morning talking about she can make it right. She believes she is the key to your happiness. And apparently, you believe it too, because you answered the phone. I know you answered the phone because you can tell me what she said, but she could make it right. Love and happiness.
Happiness, when you really feel good about somebody, yeah. Being alone, there's nothing wrong with being alone, yeah. Love and
All right. Thank you, Peaches and Herb. Love and happiness. Yes, we did that. Love and happiness. We were born with Septepi power in each and every one of us. We came equipped with everything that we need to have a fulfilled and beautiful life, but we lose our way. We are so busy working, so busy in school, so busy in relationships, so busy living in shared spaces. We are in so many environments where we have to relinquish our control or conform till we forget what we own, what we control within ourselves. We have become dependent on someone else to make things happy for us. What I'm suggesting to you, Jose, is that you reclaim your power. No one can make you happy.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Yes.
No one outside of you can make you happy. Now stick with me. We come here with everything that we need in our being. We are designed to have a beautiful and fulfilled life. Now we may need to cultivate it.
Yes.
We may need to get a little training of different things. We may need to have some experiences. And some of us get it straight along the way and make it look easy. But that's okay too.
That's true.
But it's all already in our DNA, right? The definition of happiness, or at least one of them, is an emotional state characterized by feelings of joy, satisfaction, contentment, and fulfillment. While happiness has many different definitions, it is often described as involving positive emotion and life satisfaction. Good night, really? I'm expecting somebody else to do all of that for me.
Come on now.
I heard that.
Yeah,
Can't
come
make them
on.
happy.
Come
No
on.
wonder I can't make them happy either. No, I don't have enough of a time doing that for myself.
Come on now.
Okay? People can spend years trying to find someone to make them happy while God is blessing them right now.
Come on now.
God has given us the opportunity to put ourselves in alignment with people, with places, with things that make us feel joy, that make us feel good, that even make us happy. God at some point has allowed us to experience that feeling. God has allowed us to experience different levels of euphoria, exhilaration, contentment, but we forget. We get bogged down. We get frustrated. We get lazy.
All right.
It's a lot easier to just trudge through working and kids and the house and car and this and that. And I'm gonna sit and wait for you to come over and do that whole list of stuff and make me happy instead, because it's just one more thing for me to do. So I'm gonna just let you try to do it. You're gonna do your cartwheels and your flips and your turns and whatever, trying and let you wear yourself out, which I knew was gonna happen. But now I'm still unhappy and you're unhappy too now. Come on now.
Come on now.
God is blessing me right now.
Right now.
One of the simplest things that will make this make sense. When you hold a baby.
Yeah, come on.
When you hold a baby.
Yes,
even if you're not a baby person. Okay. Even if you're not a baby person, I got a 10-second rule for babies. That's 5 seconds more than I get the piece of candy that I dropped. 10 seconds, go back to your mom. But in those 10 seconds, we look at that baby and we see opportunity.
Yes.
We look at that baby and we see the wonders of life.
Yes,
We look
I
at that
see.
baby and we see all that they can
Yes,
be,
imagine.
all that they can be,
Yes,
all
yes.
in this world
Yes.
that's there for them,
Yes. Come on.
all of the possibilities,
Yes.
right? We see it, we smell it,
Yes.
all of that stuff on that child.
Smell it.
We see the world at their feet, and
Yes.
it makes us feel so good, and we get to be silly with the cuckoo gaga and all of that, right?
Yes.
But that baby didn't do nothing.
Right.
That baby did not do anything to us except lay in our arms.
Yes.
But they open up this hole
Yes, they do.
inside of our
Yes.
souls and
Yes.
our brains and our
Come
spirit
on.
that registers joy,
Very true.
that registers opportunity,
Yes.
that registers the wonders of possibility.
Yes.
Just being there.
Yes.
Yes.
That baby didn't make you happy.
Right.
That baby just reached inside
Yes.
your butt and touched that part of you that already knows and recognizes that happy and joy is, and opened it up and
Yes.
said, look at this. You
Yes.
remember this?
Yes.
You remember this feeling? You
Yes.
remember this? That's
Yes.
what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Y'all
Come
don't
on
get
now.
mad with
Yeah.
me.
Okay now.
That space
We
is
hear
where
it.
joy and happiness lives.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna call a few people out right now.
Come on
Right.
now. Come on.
That's all right.
Come on. Call them.
I'm gonna call out some folks that make me feel without even knowing they make me feel. People that touch that place in me without doing anything, because can't nobody make you happy.
Right.
But they can reach, they can touch, they can magnify, they can mirror that thing in you that
Yes.
already knows
Very
what it
sweet.
is.
Come on.
Very sweet.
Come on.
When I see Sister Connie, top on the list.
No.
She's powerful.
Yes.
She's smart. She's beautiful.
Yes.
She's a triple threat. Oh, that makes me happy.
Yeah. Come on now.
When I see M.I.T. Malik,
Yeah.
and he has both a look of rage
Okay
and
now.
fire and tears in
Yes.
his eyes.
Yes. Yes.
It makes me feel joy.
Yeah. Come on. Come on now.
State.
Yes.
And just being able to achieve that authenticity within yourself makes me happy.
Yes.
Yes.
When Shanita sings.
Yeah.
Woo! Come on
When
now.
Shanita sings, it makes me happy.
Yes.
Let
Yes.
me tell you why it makes me happy. It makes me happy because of my reaction to it.
Yes.
Because the hair stands up on the back of my head. Because I get goosebumps when she gets goosebumps. Because I cry when she cries.
Well,
Well, it reminds me that I'm alive.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Come on. Come on.
It makes me happy.
Tell it.
When I see Danisha smile. Danisha is like Schroeder on Charlie Brown.
Come
Danisha
on.
always head down going, that's Danisha in her computer. But every once in a while, Danisha will look up and she give you this smile. And I'm like, hey, I saw that.
Yeah.
That makes me smile. And it makes me smile. When Sister Judy and Judy, I know you out there. When Sister Judy and I get on the phone, and we supposed to be on the phone for 10 minutes, and it turns into an hour and a half, and we laughing and giggling like 13-year-old little girls about who knows what. It ignites that in me. It
Come on.
makes me feel good.
Get it.
When I asked Jahi, Jahi, you out there? When I asked Jahi, now it don't matter what's on Jahi's mind, he's giving me this space, and he's giving me this Darth Vader voice, right?
All right.
Jahi, how is Sia, your wife? He gets a smile from here to here.
Yeah.
No matter what he was frowned up about, mad about, trying to fix or improve or whatever, that smile just takes over him and he can't help himself. And he tells me how she's doing and it makes me happy because he can't help himself. It makes me happy. When I see my Khaleesi,
Woo! Come on.
start crying, baby, this part, girl. When I see my minister, my Khaleesi, or his sister, Akanke.
Oh, yeah.
You rarely see them together. I couldn't handle it to see them together. But when you see either one of those two people, it just makes you say, what was in the water in that house?
Yes.
Okay now.
What was in the water in
Some
that
good
house?
stuff. Lots of
Because
good stuff.
those two people just open up that happy box in me and
Yes.
say, God is good.
Yeah.
That God is blessing me right
Now.
Come on now.
Yes.
right now.
Say that. Say that.
Right
Whatever
now.
work I have not done, I better get to it.
Yes.
Yes.
Whatever work needs to be done, I better get on it. Whatever I need to do, I better get to it because God is blessing me right now.
Right now.
Every day.
Woo!
Every day.
What I want you to do,
Every
Rose,
day.
is make a list of reciprocations.
Yes, come on. Come on.
And I want you to put down as many things as you can that make you feel good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's things you used to do that you don't do anymore. For
Yes,
whatever
yes.
reason. Maybe it's things you've been saying you're gonna do and you just haven't got around to
Right,
it.
right.
Maybe it's things that you used to do, but for whatever reason, you can't necessarily anymore. But I want you to put them down anyway, because then I want you to ponder, is there another way that I could go about this same thing? Can I twist it a little bit and still have that in my life, right? What I want you to look at, Jose, is within yourself,
Come on
what
now.
it is that you can do to give yourself some help.
Yes.
So that,
Yes.
what I want you to do, Jose, is put some more vegetables on your plate.
Yeah.
Put a little more wealth in your estate.
Come on
And
now.
help yourself to a big dose of love and happiness.
Yeah. Come on now.
I say.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't heard. Perhaps you didn't feel me, but somebody ought to be moved this morning.
Well, come on.
Somebody ought to be
Say.
touched. You know, I know I'm not by myself.
Come on now.
I know I'm not.
No.
See,
Come on now.
when you hear a message,
Well,
it's one thing.
come on.
But the feel a
Come on
message,
now.
Talk on it.
Yeah.
the feel a message.
Yeah.
If you don't know, ask somebody.
Ask somebody.
Understand when you've been touched and talked to with the Spirit,
Yeah.
it just stands for itself. I didn't even have to really do a big introduction,
Well,
you know, but I knew that we was about to get blessed.
Yes.
All right now.
So I know if you heard what we heard and you felt what we felt,
Yes.
you might want to do something about it. There is an opportunity for you to be introduced to love and happiness again.
well.
See, because I know all of us have something that is inside of us that gives us that joy that was described.
Come on now.
There's got to be something that we're familiar with that moves us
Yeah.
and touches us and motivates us. If it was just simply like hearing the voice of a child playing the drum in the background
All right
when the
now.
songs of M.I.T was singing their song,
Yeah.
it makes you smile.
Yeah.
It might be the voice of some folks that normally we might not pay that much attention to, but it makes you smile when you're truly considerate.
Yes, yes, yes.
This morning, we have an opportunity to become one with this community. We talked about this is the way.
Yeah.
And if there's someone out there who wants some of this, this is your chance to raise your hand.
Come on
This
now.
is your chance. I see you, sister. Yes, I see you. Just reach out your hand, look down. There's a contact person. There's a couple of folks. Yes, sister, I see you again. And we will extend the hand of invitation to you, get your information.
Her name is Doris.
And I think your name is Sister Doris, another Doris?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we got room for more than one Doris. So someone will be shortly reaching out to you and giving you the opportunity that you're seeking this morning. There might be some other folks. We ain't just talking to one person. There might be some other folks. And if you are already a member of this community, don't think that there ain't something for you to do too. As we were so ably communicated with this morning, Sister Rauna threw out what I call a challenge. See, we all got plates.
Yeah. Come
We
on
all
now.
got plates.
No, come on now.
It's just a matter of what's on your plate.
Come on now.
Now, I can't speak for y'all, But then I know on my plate, I've had more than my portion of some things that I need a little bit more balance with. I can be honest about that, but I bet I ain't the only one. I bet there's some more folks that need to balance out their plates. And in balancing that out, that means there's someone you can be a model to. That there's someone that you can reach out and tell them the good news. That there's a community of like minds who want to live better, deal with one another better, find more reasons, more opportunities for joy. And do we have some folks this morning? Maybe there's somebody you know, even in your own household, who wasn't here this morning. That you want to invite for next morning. Ashe? Come on, Ashe? Come on now. I know I'm not the only one. See, if I have to, I'll run around in circles if you need me to. But I understand that there was a reach out this morning. And now we do have a contact with that sister.
Sister Doris, greetings. My name is Baba Tai. And we understand that you were brought to us by Sister Judy.
Yes.
You're another one that Sister Judy has brought us. Thank you very much. Would you please give me your telephone number and your email address, and we'll get in touch with you sometime this week.
Yes. You want me to give it to you out loud now? It doesn't matter.
You can. I will send you. You have it? Actually, we have your phone number, so we'll contact you.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, I do. I would. And I am, man, I have been so blessed. I just want to just say that I am so thankful for Amun Ra, for the Wose community. I'm thankful for the excitement that I have in my heart. I thank him for the orchestration of what has happened in my life in 2021. Yet again, he has given me what I need and I must have, and that's continuous change in my life. And this is another change in my life that is just so positive that it just makes my heart smile. Ashe.
Thank you, Sister Doris Flanders, AKA Sugar D.
That's right.
We'll be in touch with you this week.
And welcome.
I saw Sugar D. I saw Sugar D in the Hosea study this morning. I went to the first for my first time, and she was there, and she had some really warm things to say, and so happy to see her come into the Wose community.
Yes, welcome.
You come.
Yeah.
I don't. You see it, Stephanie. See this one. I don't want to see. There's a person up there. Okay, lift every voice. Let's lift every voice. Let's go. Lift every voice. Let's lift every voice. Come on. Faster.
Okay, let us come together and do our anthem. You know, we've been blessed this morning with a very powerful message. We've got one that has responded to our invitation, and now let us lift every voice.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the roaring sea. Sing a song full of faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of hope that the present brought. Facing the rising sun from our day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
In the name name of that which has called us all together, we are indeed the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. One love,
One love,
one earth,
one earth,
one passion,
one passion,
one faith,
one faith,
One faith.
one together.
Yes.
One
In the
together.
name of one who has brought us all so far in ancient times as in present time. Amen. Ra.
Amen. Ra.
You are the most beautiful people on the face of
this earth.
All right.